schools in Irvine? And I said yes. We quickly found out that it's really hard to start a TED event. You need to have someone who attended an official TED event to oversee the whole process, and we ended up at the conclusion that it would have been simpler if Pages, a girl named AB, and myself started our own district-wide event. And so that's what we tried. After a few pitches, we were sponsored by IPSF, the Irvine Public Schools Foundation. After 2 years of fighting to get the event on its feet, we managed to hold the first event 1 year ago in this very room. Every performer that night gave a piece of themselves to the audience, and people connected with that. Every audience member found parts of themselves in each story. As different as we all are, we're also human and share a lot of common ground, much more than we often recognize. The reason Irvine Talks was successful is because there's something inherently powerful with being vulnerable. Being vulnerable is hard, it's scary, but more than any other form of expression, it allows people to connect. After I spent the past 2 years working with performers, telling them to make their stories more personal and to be vulnerable, I realized something. I'm a hypocrite. I am a deeply private person. I don't tell my friends or family about my problems or struggles, and even though I know that they would be there for me, I can't get myself to do it. I've realized something. I only have a few weeks before I enter second semester senior year. And you know your boy's not trying to do anything second semester. So I don't have a lot of time left. I think I'm ready to stop being a hypocrite. So let me tell you a few things about myself. For one, I am obsessed with musical analysis. If you've ever been unfortunate enough to get a car ride from me, you know that I can and will go on about music. Whether it's Kanye West's return from social exile in My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, or Frank Ocean's emotionally nostalgic Blonde. I love music and the power it has to convey emotion. Gustav Mahler once said, if a composer could say what he wanted to say in words, he wouldn't bother trying to say it in music. Maybe it's because I slur my R's or I stutter when I get a little bit too excited, but I don't think he could be more correct. Music has a way of expressing the inexpressible. When I'm feeling on top of the world, you can bet that Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield is blasting in the background. And when I'm at my lowest, curled up in bed, through teary eyes, I type in Moon River in my Spotify search bar. I'm an emotional boy. I used to try to hide this in an attempt to be more masculine, but as you can see, I've long since given up that attempt. I care too much about everything. I can't help but put 100% of me into what excites me, like my friends. I'm convinced that I'm the proud owner of the best group of friends a boy could ever wish for. Whether it's being the most disruptive in a crowded audience, or driving a little too recklessly sophomore year, the best parts of my life have always been spent with them. And they've been by my side throughout it all, and I have nothing but love. But sometimes I pour my heart out and it's not reciprocated. Sometimes I get hurt. Believe it or not, someone as attractive as me has gotten rejected. I've been rejected by girls. I've been rejected by organizations. And as of 2 days ago, I've been rejected by college. In an attempt to protect myself from getting hurt, I've closed myself off from the world. I've put up a wall of humor, and I try to joke my way around uncomfortable situations. It's become such a fail-safe for me, I find it hard to have real conversations. So many of my relationships seem superficial because I don't want to overinvest myself and end up being the only one who cares. I'm almost certain I got this from my father. He, like me, is a deeply private person. All the coolest things I've ever learned about him, I've learned from someone else. I've learned that when my father's company was failing, he borrowed over $500,000 from his father just to make sure that all his employees could get their last paycheck. This is without a doubt the coolest thing I've ever heard, but when I try to talk to him, all I get is a rapid-fire barrage of dad jokes. I'm a cautious person. I'm terrified of making mistakes. I've let these fears dictate my life. I want to have everything figured out before I make a decision, but I've come to realize that the world doesn't work that way. I'm introspective, which sounds nice in moderation, but for me, just sends me down an endless spiral of self-doubt and anxiety. And what bothers me the most about all these things is that I didn't always used to be this way. I don't know when, but I've lost that childlike wonder and naivety. I may only be 18, but I'm fighting for custody. I want my inner child back. I've told you guys quite a bit in these past few minutes, so I want to recap. I've told you that I'm a music nerd, that I'm emotional, a little bit feminine, a reject, cautious, terrified, and introspective. And the truth is that I am all these things. But tonight, I'm fortunate enough to add another to the list. I'm vulnerable. I'm open. I'm honest. Everything I've ever wanted to be, and it's only taken me 4 years. So I wanted to say thank you. If this is only the first step in a long journey of vulnerability, it's a step in a direction not dictated by fear. Thank you. Thank you for coming to support my journey with vulnerability. Thank you for coming to support these brave performers that took the stage tonight. Thank you for taking a risk on Irvine Talks. Last year, when the event had ended, the curtains closed and everyone went home, Pages, A.B., and I realized that we had created something bigger than ourselves. Irvine Talks no longer belonged to us. It belonged to each and every one of you in the audience. Looking outside, sometimes it feels like our world is more divided than ever. Issues are politically polarized, and if you're not on the right or left, you're left out of the conversation. I understand that it's easy to steer away from disagreement. None of us want to get into conflict. But if we don't listen to others' perspectives, we're never going to be able to come together as a people. The idea behind Irvine Talks has always been about sharing stories. But when we leave here tonight, no matter where you came from or where you're headed, remember that what you felt in here does not need to be confined by these walls. Every time you make a choice to be open or honest, that idea lives on. The light bulb continues to burn. But it's up to us to make sure it doesn't die.